Hey everybody, Jason with Fender Garage, and we're currently in our chassis assembly line where we run our chassis, we put powder coat them, put drivetrains in them, get all the exhaust done. And we've got it right here because they're just getting ready to start the exhaust on this chassis right here. And it's a pretty cool chassis. It's one of our four-wheel drive chassis. We've got a 6772 four-wheel drive bump side chassis that's being wrapped up and getting the exhaust done. You can see that it's got a Gen 3 Whipple supercharged Coyote motor. So this thing's going to be super fun to drive, a lot of power. We got some massive 16-inch brakes, so looks super awesome. So very cool. Well, that's not what I wanted to talk about, even though we love chassis. Chassis are really cool and they ride super nice. They make a huge difference. What we want to talk about today is oil filter relocation kits. So a lot of people struggle with an oil filter relocation kit, how to do it, why, what's needed, and really the only reason why you do an oil filter relocation kit is if your filter in itself can no longer be easily accessible, or also it's just colliding with something else, just too much stuff in the way. And these Coyote motors, the suspension and all this kind of stuff, when you guys are kind of working in your garage, whether it's a Fox body, whether it's an F100 or whatever you're putting it in, that filter hangs down just enough. Now, oftentimes you have to get rid of some of the Ford stuff, and then there's a different little adapter hardware bolt that you can put on, and then you can put a regular filter on it and get rid of the oil cooler. We're not really driving day in and day out every single day and all the hot weather. Most of us are driving these just a little bit, so they're not getting the high usage of 20,000 miles a year a lot of people put on. Oil coolers are not as critical. So we get them out of the way. You could, I guess, use one if you wanted to, but it's really not that imperative in what we're doing. We struggle with then adapting an oil filter and having the clearance. So I wanted to show you what we got here. We've got this really nice, really low profile oil filter relocation adapter. And so we got this here and we got this block here. Now, with this installed, it only takes up about, 1 3/4 inches. It's not very much. It's pretty low profile. It allows us then to relocate the filter somewhere else. In this instance, we've got header issues, we've got exhaust, we've got all this kind of stuff. And so I just said, hey, move it out of the way, get plenty of room. Now they've got to come in, now that they got the header installed, they just barely put the header on. Now they're gonna pull this up and they'll get a clamp around this. And you're going to want to make sure whatever you do, you have at least 1/2 inch of clearance. Now we've got a fiberglass heat protection that we've installed on these. And then we're going to zip tie these up and we'll create about 1/2 inch of airspace to make sure that the header has plenty of room. And we'll put a nice clamp on it to get that out of the way. But we just barely put the header on about 5 minutes ago. But let's come back over here. And in the spirit of relocating, we actually really relocated this and we put it right back here out of the way. And so the exhaust is going to come over here. We'll have, plenty of room, but it'll split out. But we brought it over here and got it installed. And it also makes it pretty convenient to access it. It's protected by this piece here. So it's never going to get hit by anything that might hit some debris, come up here, always be protected. Also very easy to get to. Pull this off, change your oil filter, and you're good to go. So relocating is just relocating. By the time this gets all pressurized, heck, you might actually get an extra 1/2 quart of oil. So that's great. You'll have to obviously keep checking your dipstick because you are going to need a little bit more oil than what the standard, normal quarts you're going to need for a Coyote. You'll definitely need like an extra 1/2 quart when you relocate it this far. But super easy to get to, and for us, we want to make sure that we have the option to move things around. Of course, we've got hose in it, we've got fittings and all the things that you're going to need. And so let's go check out what comes in the kit so you can kind of see all the parts. Let's go take a look. All right, so here is our kit and let's unbox it. So now, if you're just doing a two-wheel drive truck, we actually have this bracket that can put this oil filter relocation just right to the back of the oil pan. So this will mount to it and there's some hardware, easy bracket to provide a little spot. And you really only need a 3-foot hose, and that will work out. But let me just show you, you may get a sticker if you're lucky. You're gonna get your oil filter relocation components right here. This is a spot that you're gonna mount onto the bracket right here. You're also gonna get a ton of fittings, so all the fittings you need. So let's open this up. I don't think I'll pull them all out. Now here's that adapter I was talking about. This will thread in, and then the adapter will thread onto here. You actually get this in the kit. You don't need to look for it. You're going to get all the fittings, all the little fittings that you can put on here and cut this in half and then make this work. Now, we actually have another kit where you can get 12-foot hose. So this is just a simple, smaller relocation kit. Because we know the hose isn't super cheap, we've got 2 different kits. You'll be able to buy one with 12-foot hose or one with 3-foot hose. Now, if you're one of those guys, you're like, I don't know if I can get it right the first time, I might need a longer hose, go ahead and order that kit. But if you've done this kind of stuff before, you're really familiar with it, you're doing a 2-wheel drive, this is probably gonna work perfect for you. So all the fittings you need are in the kit, all the brackets to attach this bracket and everything, all the hardware comes in it. So we'll put all this back here. In the event you're missing something, God, please let us know, reach out to us. We'll be happy to send it out to you. So very, very easy to install. To put something like this in, it might take you an hour, hour and a half. The biggest thing is just taking your time and getting the fittings on here correctly before you start cranking those down and getting it tight. You're gonna wanna make sure that everything is cleaned. When you cut this stuff and you're installing it, please blow out your line. A lot of times guys will just leave, you know, the nasty garbage that's in here, and you just need to blow it out. Make sure your hose is nice and clean before you actually connect it to your vehicles. Hopefully that answers any questions you got. Definitely like, subscribe, follow us, and we'll see you next time, and happy hot rodding.